All right, we're glad to have you back. The Plateau Police Command says it is making progress in its investigation into the killing of Major General Idris Alkali, whose dismembered body was found in a well in the state.
Yeah, 19 suspects were paraded at the police command headquarters in Jos and are expected to be charged to court as soon as possible. Police spokesman Matthias Tiopev told journalists that 13 of the suspects were handed over by the military. He also revealed that 2 others are believed to be on the run and have been declared wanted.
The community was involved actively when we were at the pit. And they saw whatever happened, and the press was also there. So for you to say the press was not carried along is not the truth. The press was there last week, Thursday, to be precise.
Yeah.
They've been charged to court already, and they pleaded not guilty, and the case has been adjourned till December.
Yeah. All right, security expert Tony Ofoyeton is in the studio with us. We'll also have the spokesman, Plateau Police State Command, Matthias Tiopev, to speak to us via phone. Good morning. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Tony.
Thank you.
You know, the why as to, what exactly was the reason for killing Major General Idris Alkali remains in the wind. But let's even look at the military's ability to eventually unravel, at least discover his body.
Well, I think, for the first time, I think I want to clap for the military. And we want to also, it established that the military is becoming more civil and more civilized and more professional in its approach, especially when it comes to relating with communities and people. Now, I'm saying this in juxtaposition to the Zakibiam case, the Udi case. You see that the approaches are different. The approach here is, let us first of all find out where the corpse is and what happened.
Yes.
Before we do anything. Now, if you look at the Zakibiam case and the Udi case, it was our people had been murdered, wiped out the village.
Entirely.
And unfortunately, because of that, they couldn't get what happened. Who did what at the end of the day? Now, but you see what has happened now. Number one, you see dexterity in terms of investigative skill of the military coming to place. And I give kudos to them, because ordinarily this is supposed to be the primary work of the police. But the military took it and they did excellently well, I must confess. Anybody that is going to come out to say I'm a professional, I would have done better than that, is just a hypocrite. And that's just the truth.
Okay.
And also taking it to the extent of, okay, having gotten this far, handing it over to the police. It's another set of civility. And you would observe that as we speak now, they have not even done anything. The military we used to know would have scattered everywhere. Let me use that, our own local, so that you understand what the military is capable of. You see that many dignitaries, including the governor, have been coming to say, please, don't do anything, don't take revenge and the like, because we all know what the military is capable of doing when they are angry.
Okay, let's bring in the spokesman, Plateau Police State Command here, Matthias Tiopev. Matthias, it's good to have you join us right now. Someone would say that the police has been on ground, and when it comes to the competence of the police to investigate, certainly one would say it's not in doubt. But it took the military to investigate the death of the general, to find where his car was, to find where his body was thrown, and then hand it over to the police. What does that say of the police from that window?
Well, first and foremost, I want to clear air here. If we say the military did it absolutely, then you may be making a mistake. Right. We did this thing in conjunction It was a scene of investigation from the police and the army. It was a combined operation. And that is why when we got to the pit, all of us were there. Our medical doctors were there. I was there myself. And some senior police officers from the command were also there. So if you say it was the military that was doing everything, then you'll be making a mistake. We were doing it in synergy. Nobody did it absolutely. That is why if the Brigadier General, the garrison commander from 3 Division, when he was addressing the press at that point in time, he said these successes wouldn't have been possible without the police. Why? Because it was because of our interrogation. The suspect we caught, they were the one that led us to the pit. And from there, our medical team and our detectives moved in there with the military. We did it in synergy. So saying that it was an absolute operation of the military would not be saying the truth.
Okay, well, that point is well taken. But let me remain with you, Matthias Chiopev. Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff, actually blames security agencies for not diligently investigating and prosecuting past cases. And that might be the reason why this incident, the killing of General Alkali, happened in the first place. Of the 19 suspects that have been paraded so far, what are you able to tell us about why he was killed?
Well, first and foremost, we got the 13 suspects that were handed over to us by the military. After interrogation, we declared 8 people wanted. 6 have reported. It was out of those people that we declared wanted that we got information that led us to the pit where the corpse of the general was dumped. So I want to inform members of the public that investigation is not a gunshot affair that starts today and ends immediately. Moreover, all of them gave testimony as to how and what they have known about the killing. The man that owns a black industry close to the place where the vehicle was pushed in confessed to us that he was aware, but he was afraid to mention those who did it. Some other suspects confessed to us that they participated. Somebody that drove the vehicle and subsequently pushed it into the pit also confessed. So we have charged them to court. We are waiting for the court to take its decision. Yesterday they were taken to court. All of them in the court pleaded not guilty. They will be given opportunity for a fair hearing. And at the end of it all, we are very sure that with what we have in our hands, we should be able to prove our case without any doubt.
All right, Matthias Chiopev, spokesperson of the police command in Plateau State, thank you very much for talking to us on this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, Tony, for a general to be killed the way that Alkali was killed, it leaves so much to be thought about as to if that can happen to a general, then other citizens, I wonder, what does it tell to the fear of living around sometimes, especially in some parts of the country?
Well, it's not the first time it will happen. Even in our own Long Bridge here, remember one of the generals was also killed. But having said so, from the reports we gathered on the newspaper, I don't know if it's right or wrong or true, that one of the reasons why they killed the general was because of their reaction about, you know, killings in the village by headsmen and all those stuff, and they were not getting the supposed defense that they ought to. As defective as it is, it's rather unfortunate. But having said so, I think that Nigerians must come to terms with respecting our military formation. It's easy for us to sit down here and analyze and begin to criticize the police, the army, and all those stuff like that. Now take example, how many of us go to vigil every day? Or even once in a week, the Friday vigil. How many of us are faithful? Now you see the military going to vigil every blessed day, not to pray.
Now, Tony, you were talking about earlier, you were talking about how not easy it is.
Yes, you know, like what I was saying is we expect that the Nigerians should be able to appreciate the enormity and the high level of risk that is involved in security duties, especially when it comes to national security, when it comes to bearing of arms. Each time the soldiers go out on operation, it's a 50-50 affair. It's either they are coming back alive or they are not coming back.
Body bags.
And some of them are coming back maimed and permanently maimed too. While we are busy sleeping and snoring at home, and the next day we wake up only to criticize and begin to analyze. We should ask ourselves a simple question. These people that are there, don't they have families and loved ones? Some have parents, some have wives and children. You know, in other climes.
Is that even the most pertinent question to ask, or do we even equip them enough? It is a given that many of them would have families, but do we equip them enough? Have we given them the right tools, even psychologically, to be able to do what they need to do?
Equipment is even another thing entirely. We as Nigerians learning to appreciate and honor them is as important as equipping them. If you equip them and you don't appreciate what they do, and you don't honor them. In other clients, when you see either the police or the army, especially the military, when they enter any aircraft, one, they board first, and if for any reason they enter, I've seen where you have even passengers clap for them.
Oh yeah, in the US, for example, no opportunity is missed to show appreciation and
anywhere.
Exactly.
No, so there are some. If we can imbibe some of this funny culture, I think there are some of these things we should also imbibe, because somebody in the name of 18,000 naira minimum wage going to lay down his life, and the next thing, if he comes back home, he has backlashes and the like. It's also discouraged. Not to now talk of killing. The truth is, I salute the present Chief of Army Staff. I salute him. And I pray that God will keep him. Because for this alone is the extreme maturity you can see of any Chief of Army Staff killing a military general.
And that exactly is the reason why Simon Lalong, the governor of Plateau State, has been pleading with the military not to abandon the security operations that have been ongoing already.
I think that is another angle to it. That is another angle to it. And it is imperative that the military understand that, you know, they should not extend such anger to the extent of withdrawing either tactically or physically from their basic duties within that area. Because if they do, it's as good as also wiping them off themselves, because it becomes a vulnerable point which the terrorists capitalize upon. In short, their prayer is that this that have happened,
there should be mayhem, so they can
so we expect that the military will further show that sense of responsibility, maturity, and be able to stand up to their responsibility within this area.
All right. The Chief of Army Staff has said that there's going to be sanction for the military or the security officers who were supposed to have taken charge of that area. Who did not, and allowed this to happen. So, but we wait to see how things will play out. Certainly, the courts, some persons have been arrested and arraigned. We also wait for the outcome of all of this. Tony Ofoyeton, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.